the finance minister and the coordinating minister, Dr. Okonjo Ngozi-Iweala, says that she will go ahead and have some sort of early presentation of the budget, and that singular action alone, presented the budget, 2012 budget in November. Is that one good step to take?
Maybe, but the issue really has never been the presentation of budget.
No, but
budget presentation of this country is just a ritual. The important thing is the implementation.
Yeah, but they also have what she says. They have some implementation tracking team in the Ministry of Finance. So that team is supposed to make sure that what goes in is properly implemented.
Well, okay. I hope that will be the beginning of some sanity, because, like we said, I mean, we had situations in the past where ministries waited for the end of the year. They didn't spend any money. Then, towards the end of the year, every money is thrown out. And
but how does it happen that money is allocated for certain projects?
That is what
not used for it.
The most important people in government should be the accountant general and then the auditor general. The auditor, when last did we see the audit of all the accounts of this nation? The auditor general is supposed to be the person who checks all the books, and he reports directly to the president. But when last we did see the auditor's report, the auditor general's report, everybody is just interested in the money coming out, and then people just pocket the money.
So where do we go from here?
Fortunately, well, maybe with this tracking team that we are being promised, we are expecting that team will take each ministry up and say, okay, this was what you presented to us as your proposals. Where are you now on these things? And maybe that will help us. But I do hope it will work. There's something about this country.
But some time ago, pardon me for butting in, we were told by the then former Minister of Information that the MDAs actually lacked the capacity to implement these budgets. And then you ask yourself, is it that there's corruption or they don't have the capacity? Those are two different things.
Who is talking about capacity here? I mean, look, when they were preparing the budgets, these budgets are supposed to be project tied. I mean, you present the budget, okay, the Ministry of Works tells us, we are told every time the committee, the president and the ministers, when each time they meet, every Wednesday.
Okay, the Federal Executive Council.
The Federal Executive, okay. Now, every Wednesday we are told that the budget for so many roads have been approved, the budget for that, and yet, at the end of the day, we don't see the impact of this road. Look at this Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. It's been there since the military built it in 1978. That road has become a death trap. And now we're told that it's been concessioned since 2008.
Because this is very key. This observation you just dropped now, on a weekly basis, precisely every Wednesday, we get reports of the such. But would it make any difference if now Okonjo-Iweala has instructed that they go back to the way it was, so that we can at least keep track on all of these ministries and departments as well as agencies on a weekly and even monthly basis, so that, for instance, if they say Road A has been allocated this sum, then we should be able to know at the end of 1 month if anything has been done?
I think it's, like I said, it's a very, very key step in the right direction. I mean, there's something we call tracking, and there's this issue of budgetary control. At the end of each month, you tell us what your budget was, then what your current expenditure is. Then we see a variance. Whether you were able to save anything or whether you overexpended what you budget. But the important thing is that these things have to be monitored. The impression one has is that in the past there was nothing like that. I mean, you saw people get into government as paupers and then come out as billionaires. The easiest way to make money in Nigeria today is to be in government.
Must everyone be monitored, Mr. Sokoton? I'm a little bit worried here. Must they be monitored? Must everyone be Must everyone be talking about transparency? I mean, once people attended the program and they didn't know that monies were given to them for baggage carriers, but they were giving that money without anyone knowing. So how come we talk about this transparency talk and we're still where we are?
That's the tragedy of this nation.
But again, as an expert, just the way the minister is, how can we, even without talking about publication, how can we get into the books? Or
that's really what we are saying now. That's the tracking team that the minister has promised will be able to go into every ministry and say, okay, look, last month you were given so much for this project. Where are you on the project? And then there's also this issue of contractors who are generally party members who only got contracts as a sort of reward for being party members. And so they collect the money and do nothing about the contract. And nobody's talking about them. We have a lot of abandoned projects all over the place. And yet, has anybody ever been taken to court in this country for obtaining winning a contract and refusing to implement it and yet collecting the money?
Let's go back a little bit and look at the economy. It's not news that the Nigerian economy is really battered. Yes. Now, the president has brought in Dr. Iweala to fix the economy. She came up with a document called the Economic Blueprint. Yeah. What do you think? What difference do you think that blueprint will make in fixing the economy?
You know, the greatest obstacle to the implementation of any plan is the human factor. And if we have people who get contracts as a reward for party efforts and who cannot be brought to book, no matter what the prince we are talking about, unless there's political will to really ensure that, look, Nigeria has so much money. God has been so kind to us. We have enormous resources. It's just husbanding these resources and carrying them in the right direction.
Okay, talking about resources, after the independence, Nigeria's economy was basically agrarian, right?
Yes.
But we had a little bit of manufacturing here and there, small scale manufacturing. Now we have medium scale. We even have some large scale manufacturing. Yeah. What made it so difficult for us to transit from that small scale manufacturing to mega manufacturing?
The key issue has always been this issue of power. There's no way you can talk of manufacturing without power.
But to some extent, we had some form of stable power supply around the 80s, thereabouts. Power supply was sort of stable at that point.
Yeah, but what we had then was what you call substitutes, whatever. We were import substitution. We were importing so much. I mean, look at pan. Peugeot will bring the parts of Peugeot into and assemble. We were assembling really. We were not actually. We were not adding value, sort of. I mean, okay, look at that era you're talking about. When Peugeot and Volkswagen were being knocked down and brought into this, at least the tires, the glass, and other things were being manufactured locally. Then somehow those things collapsed, and then here we are. And then the oil thing, when you see these area boys on the road, you know why they don't want to work? Because it's so easy for them to get money from extortion. If they make noise and take money from this side, down for drivers, why would they want to exert themselves?
So do we now say that the oil has become a distraction to us? So
we abandoned everything.
Okay, should we now forget the oil sector and move on to other areas? Would that make a difference?
Look, everybody has been talking. Look, we had
Operation Feed the Nation
during Obasanjo's era.
We had Green Revolution
during Shagari's era. What was the other thing we had? But where is the agriculture today?
No, but now the president said, even the coordinating minister says they intend to diversify the economy, entertainment, agriculture. Those are the key areas where they intend to focus on this time. The president yesterday also was very optimistic about agriculture.
I've always said, for instance, that look, why would Nigeria be importing fuel? When we were a colony, we had cocoa here. The Oyinbos would take our cocoa from us at their own price. Take the cocoa away, bring it back to us as chocolate and whatever, and we buy it at their own price. 50 years down the line, why should we still have to produce crude oil, send it to them?
Yeah, but doesn't it look as if we've realized that, listen, we have to move forward here?
Yeah,
and so they brought forth this proposal Should we be optimistic about it?
Well, I hope I can share the optimism. But we really need a reorientation. Because people have become so used to easy money that nobody really wants to exert himself. Look at this issue of the fuel that we are talking about. I can't remember the last time I know that this time I've appeared on any program, I've always advocated that we should have refineries.
What about the talk of management, Mr. Sopiton? Because when you talk about oil, someone will be quick to point at Libya. Just before the crisis, Libya had a fantastic economy, even though their oil was dead, but they never had the problem when we attributed to having from oil here in Nigeria, to the extent that literacy level was 92% literacy level in Libya. So even with the huge resources at their disposal at that point in time before the crisis, they never got into the state we are in now.
That is what I'm saying.
So it brings us to management.
Well, management, look, you know that during Obasanjo's era, we used to have this turnaround maintenance that they did on all these things. It got so much dollars, and yet we had nothing to show for all the dollars we were spending. I have always advocated that, look, I'm not an engineer, but the people who know tell us that it costs about $1 billion to have a diesel refinery. If we say we are spending 600 billion on subsidy, 600 billion will be about $4 billion. Then we should be able to build 4 digital refineries in this country. So rather than we having to, and I understand that this issue of refinery is about distillation. You get different products at different levels of production. So they understand there are 70 products that you can get out of each crude. We only get 4 out of these 70 because the refinery is done outside these shores. The 66 others accrue to the people who do the refinery. Now we have our youths trudging the streets, jobless. If we get the refineries working in this country, if we have new refineries, you will produce direct labor. Then there's the ancillary labor that employment rather. And I don't know, these things look so simple. Why can't people just take the decision?
All right, but aren't we seeing the signs now?
I do hope, yes, maybe with some, I pray that we will, because that is what we all resort to in Nigeria.